Hey, what is going on, guys? It's Arya back again. Today we're gonna talk about the zombies storyline. As you know, Call of Duty Black Ops 4 was revealed to the community yesterday, and we got not only 2, but 3 zombies trailers. So we're gonna have 3 maps at launch on day 1, which is pretty incredible. We're getting Voyage of Despair, 9, and Blood of the Dead, which is the remake for Mob the Dead. The Voyage of Despair and 9 are gonna feature 4 new characters: Scarlet, Diego, Bruno, and Shaw, and they're gonna have their own separate storyline. The story from Blood of the Dead, as far as we know, will not cross over with the story of our new 4 characters, which means we could possibly be getting 2 maps per DLC, which would honestly be mind-blowing, but that's just speculation. We don't really know if that's the case. Since yesterday, we have learned that in this new universe, there will be no perk machines, so they have replaced that with something else. We have learned that in the zombies menu on Black Ops 4, these 2 stories will be placed in different sections and are gonna have their own separate menu. So to me, it seems like Treyarch are doing their best to make sure we understand that these 2 universes are completely separate. Another evidence that supports this theory is the fact that Element 115 is completely absent in this universe, and as we saw in the trailers, this new Ancient Order, which is gonna be the main villain for this new storyline, has 2 artifacts and he fuses them together and then 3 things happen. This yellow dome forms around the villain, the artifact implodes and falls apart, it creates a black smoke, that black smoke touches every human in sight and it turns them into zombies. So no Element 115 is used for creating zombies, and as far as we know, Element 115 is the only thing that is used to create zombies in our original storyline. Another small evidence that supports this theory is the fact that yesterday when Craig Houston and Jason Blundell were talking about the storyline, they referred to our original storyline as the Ether storyline. Ether is, to put it in simple terms, the same thing as Agartha, which is where Revelations took place. So we are about, let's say, 80% sure that these 2 stories will never cross over. Now let's talk about why Jason Blundell has done that. The original zombie storyline, the Ether storyline, was created by Jimmy Zielinski. Somewhere towards the end of Black Ops 2 DLC season, Jimmy Zielinski left and Jason Blundell took charge. The story was complicated, convoluted, and popular. In Black Ops 3, Jason Blundell changed the direction of the storyline a little bit, and we went towards Cthulhu mythos, Greek mythology, and pretty much became straight up sci-fi. Jason Blundell knew where he wanted to go in terms of story and narrative, while in the meantime, Jimmy Zielinski kind of struggled and made some mistakes along the way. Jason Blundell has been doing his best to not only keep the story interesting, but fill up some plot holes and answer some questions, and at the same time, he managed to fit his own narrative in the Zielinski universe, and he did all he could to connect his mythological storyline to Zielinski's universe. He introduced Dr. Monty, the multiverse, the Apothecons, and the Keepers, but introducing all those things kind of made some of the characters and things we were invested in before a little bit irrelevant. A prime example of that would be Samantha. She played such a big role in the zombie storyline, and we don't even hear her say a word in Black Ops 3. The new characters, including the Shadow Man and Dr. Monty, took up all the airtime, and as the result of that, we didn't get very many answers to some of the questions in Jimmy Zielinski's universe. This new storyline in Black Ops 4 is going to be done entirely by Jason Blundell. He created this new story from scratch to sort of implement the type of narrative that is only his and his alone, so he would not have to worry about the restrictions and obstacles that he would face when implementing some of his ideas into the storyline. He came up with a brand new narrative that, in his opinion, is really good and is going to be exciting, but it would not work in the original zombie storyline. He had all these great ideas, but he could not express them freely because he would have to worry about ruining the canon in the original story, and that's why he created this separate universe. Now let's talk about if this is good from an audience point of view. So I'm pretty much gonna give you my opinion and what I think of this whole situation. With everything that Jason Blundell did in Black Ops 3 and even with the timeline, the zombie storyline is still pretty convoluted and really complicated and kinda messy. I still love it, but the problem with it is that it moves kind of slow and we didn't really get a big payoff at the end of Black Ops 3. So as someone who has loved the zombie storyline for the longest time, I would like to see this story move forward a little faster and I want to see a big payoff. I want more questions to be answered in the form of Easter eggs, Easter egg cutscenes, ciphers, and character quotes. If Treyarch is working simultaneously on 2 stories in one DLC season, then that means we will probably not be getting as much information as we would if that second new storyline wasn't there. I'm just scared that the Ether storyline might suffer due to the focus of the writers shifting towards the new storyline. Yes, I understand there's no campaign in this game and they got more people to work on zombies and multiplayer, but still, if that new storyline wasn't there, we might have gotten more for the original story. There are 2 scenarios where this whole thing would work out really well in my opinion. One is that the new story has to be really, really good. It has to have some really good characters and some good twists and mysteries and secrets, and overall it has to get everybody's attention and it has to get the community to become invested in this new narrative. The second scenario would be if we do get 2 maps per DLC, and at the end of the DLC season, these 2 universes cross over. They can keep them separate throughout pretty much the entire DLC season, but in DLC 4 there has to be some kind of connection revealed between the 2. For example, a lot of people are speculating that the map 9 will be somewhat connected to the Premise characters, because at the end of the Revelations cutscene we saw the Premise go back in the medieval times wielding the ancient staffs. Now that would actually work if they reveal at the end of the DLC season that there is a connection between the 2 universes. I would not rule that out because there is a multiverse in the Ether storyline and there's also time travel. In the trailer for 9, we see the 4 new characters time travel as well, so since both storylines are pretty much fiction and they both revolve around time travel, it is very likely that at some point we see the 2 universes collide. And honestly, in my opinion, this is the best way to go. Develop the new characters separately so their stories are not overshadowed by the Ether storyline, build up that universe, get everybody to become invested in that narrative, and at the end you can reveal that the 2 universes are indeed connected. And for now, I will just leave it at that until we get some more new information. I would like to know your thoughts and opinions on the subject, so make sure to include them in the comment section down below. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.